My name's Eugene Hale, and some years back, my real name was Eugene Lawrence. So I use both names, but everybody knows me by Hale. And I grew up here in St. Michael's. I was born in Montana back in '49, and my mom brought me back down here, and I stayed here. And my mom went to work, got a job, and so her grandma was the one that raised me since I was a year old, and she spoke Dakota to me all the time. So that's my first language. And I went to school here in St. Michael's back in, I think it was '55, somewhere around there. And I had to break a habit. I had my speaking Dakota all the time. I could understand their English words, but I would answer in Dakota. And I had to stay in first grade for 2 years. In second grade the same year, then I finally broke the habit in the third grade. And that's where I started speaking English more with my friends. And they used to make fun of me, and I used to thought I was, I used to fight with them, because they were making fun of me. And they were kind of bullying me and all that because I had this problem talking Dakota. And my family, my great grandma, that's my mom's. She was the one that raised me, my mom's grandma. And she, this is what I usually do, is tell the story of my family, where we originally came from. And originally came from Santee, Nebraska. Santee, Nebraska. That's where originally came from. Then I talk about that story all the way to where they. First we went from across the river into Yankton, South Dakota. This is her story. She told me. She always tells me all this story over and over, and I always keep that in my mind. I remember her that way, and. Then she said, we're from Yankton. She said the people there was running out of food. So they told us to go northeast from here, from Yankton. So they went there, and there was a fort there, and the soldiers and people were giving food out. They gave them food, and they gave them a wagon, horses, and a tent, and that's where they stayed there for a little while. And then all of a sudden there was a lot of rackets going on, a lot of noise, and you hear gunfires, and then so there was a man there. He said, "Get your stuff together and get out of here now. Go." And so they described their tent, just unfolded them and threw it in the back of the wagon, and what little clothes they had and food. They came in this direction from there, and they came here in Fort Houghton here. And they were here for a little while, and they heard the cavalry was coming after them. So they went to Montana, Fort Peck. And when they got there, they stayed there. The band must have been around, the size of the band, maybe 50 to 60 people, or, somewhere in that area. And so some stayed here, and they went on to Fort Peck, and they stayed there for a little bit, and they heard the cowboys coming up close. So they went north, and some people stayed there, their relatives, and this was mostly relatives. So they went into Canada, Saskatchewan, a place called Fort Capel. That's where they ended up. And they were there for a little while, and they heard again they have these people that they lookout people, and so they heard. They came and told us that the cavalry's coming, so they went east, and they stayed here, and they're camping out. The only time they moved was at night. They stayed in a wooded area for the night, and they don't take off. And they end up in a place called Sioux Valley, Manitoba, and they're there for a little while, and then the cavalry caught up to them there, and that's when. They told him, "We're not here to hurt you in any way. We just want you to sign a treaty." So those two chiefs, and I got their pictures here, and I got all these things that she was telling me about. One of them was her grandpa, and he's the one that he was kind of like the main. His grandpa And this was taken back in that day. And this is the story that she was telling me about. And this is the picture. And I believe it's, yeah, this one here is my great-grandmother's grandpa. And this one here is Matosap, a black bear, and this Padana, a poppy, strike on the head. And this is a black bear. And this BIA man who took a picture of him together, they signed that treaty. So that was back in 1800, somewhere in the late part of 1800, the latest part. And they signed that treaty, and they told him, they said, you can come back with us into the United States now, and we will, you're free, nobody's going to bother you. So they, amongst them, they said, well, we're not going to go, just stay here. So as soon as we cross the border, they're going to kill us. So they stayed there in Sioux Valley. And when they took that picture, they gave him a treaty gift. And her grandpa was the one that passed it down to her to keep, and that was his favorite, you know. This is that treaty gift that was given to them years ago, and then she stayed there till she was a young lady. She had 2 children there, and her children stayed there. There was a man here from here wanted to marry her. He wanted to become, in them days, you know, you don't go out together like for a while before you know each other or whatever. They just, if somebody asked for you, and her family was saying, he's a good man, he does all these things, he'll do everything for you, he'll be kind to you and your children. So, but her grandparents told her, her grandparents stayed with the kids. So he came up to Sioux Valley, and so they met, and then from there she came home here, and then they got married here. And then later in years, her daughter came, and my mom's mother, she came down, and she stayed here, and she married my grandpa. And his name was Henry Feather. And I forgot to say, my great-grandmother, her name was Sarah Lawrence. She was married, I can't remember the person with her, you know, but she married this Fred Lawrence here. And when she came, my grandma came down. She stayed with her for a while. And then my grandpa, my mom's dad, he was, you know, abusive towards, when he got married, he was abusive. He hated her and everything. And she had 3 kids, actually 4, but the oldest one died, and my mom. Then she had a sister named Olivia. They went by Lawrence. Her husband, my grandma's husband, adopted these 2, but the youngest one stayed with her dad. Her name was Jeanette, and they went by Feather. But they got their name changed. My mom and her sister, the second, went by Lawrence. And I just found that out not very long ago. So I had to change my name to Lawrence. I got my birth certificate.